What's up, guys? Welcome to a special on the Stoppage Time Stooges. Not a regular episode, a little rant here. Um, if you're watching on YouTube, you know who we're talking about, Mr. Aframian. Jacob, what is wrong with Chelsea? Floor is yours.
See, that's a loaded question, Christian, because there are a lot of things wrong.
Should I tee you up? Would you like me
Yeah,
to be?
tee me up, please.
Okay.
I exist.
Let's start with Robert Sanchez. What are your thoughts on Robert Sanchez at the moment?
Remember when I kept telling you about the stats last year when Jordy Petrovic played compared to when Robert Sanchez played? Do you know what their winning percentage was with Jordy Petrovic? 57. Do you know what it was with Robert Sanchez? 39. What's better?
39.
Well, according to Enzo Maresca, you'd be correct. But no, stats. You know what's the most important stat? Winning. That's the most important stat. Again, if Robert Sanchez isn't good enough for Brighton, how the hell is he good enough for Chelsea? Can someone explain that to me, please?
Brighton beat you this weekend, so he was better at the higher level.
I mean, come on. What are we doing? I mean, I don't know what Jorgensen is either. He wasn't
Neither
very
do
good.
we.
He wasn't very good at Villarreal. I'll tell you that. According to stats. So, it's fair. I mean, I knew Robert Sanchez wasn't good enough. I've known that the entire year, even when they were flying high. I knew he wasn't good enough. But now the old bad Robert Sanchez that I despise is back. The 3 mental errors a game instead of 1 is back. Because he's just. It's not that he's not talented. It's not that he doesn't have skill. It's not that he doesn't do good things. He just makes dumb decisions all the time. Sometimes his brain is a friggin' rock. And my team suffers because of it. And the manager has started to lose some of his feel. Feel for the game. Feel for when to make changes. Feel for starting 11s. They have this same formula, and they keep doing it. Score early, take a 1-0 lead, then concede 2, quit. They've done it 1,000 times through this dreary period that started when they got a friggin' 0-0 draw at Everton. They were second in the league then. Second! They were this close to Liverpool. You know where they are now? Oh, that's right. Not even remotely close. They're somehow in 4th. If they don't make the Champions League, it's not acceptable. And I know what you're thinking. If you care enough, Jacob, you said before the year that they would finish 5th. I don't give a damn. Circumstance changes everything. You cannot start the way that they started. I don't want to be Tottenham last year. I don't want that. You know how I despise Tottenham with every fiber in my being. I hate what they represent. I hate everything that they're about. I hate their lore. I hate everything about Tottenham Hotspur. 7 years without a domestic trophy. You want to know the last time they won one? 2018 FA Cup final. Who was managing Chelsea that day? Antonio Conte! And now they're going to have to wait till next year. And you know what the worst part is? Liverpool's not even in the friggin' competition anymore! But no. Kiss that trophy bye-bye. Arsenal's not in this competition anymore, right? The two best clubs in the league are not in the competition anymore, and these idiots are pissing it away. All they would have to do is beat Crummy City, who they already lost to twice, Man U, who can't win at home, I guess Newcastle, who they can beat. Who else is left?
Not, I
Villa?
guess. Come on, that's one of the most informed teams in Europe right now.
Okay. We're Chelsea. We have gobs of money that's been incredibly mismanaged, but still has a lot of talent. You want to hear how amazing these sporting directors are, folks? How would you feel if your team was going through their worst stretch of the season and the brilliant director said, you know what? We're going to loan half of our bench players and not sign anyone to replace them? How would you evaluate that strategy? Oh, it's dumb. That's how you evaluate it, because it's a stupid thing to do. How in the hell can you explain to me that we should loan Renato Vega, João Felix, Axel Disasi, Carney Chukwemeka, Ben Chilwell, I'm probably missing someone, and in the process, bring in no one? They brought in some 18-year-old kid who probably is not good enough to play at the Premier League level. That was their plan. What if someone gets hurt? Lavia's not coming back till March. We don't know when Fofana's coming back. Badiashile is still injured. They don't have a backup friggin' left back. And they have the most injury-prone right back in the league. They want me to see Mark Yu play. I don't want to see Mark Yu unless it's against some Conference League team in Kazakhstan. That's where I want, or if they played Plymouth Argyle.
That's a low blow. That's a low blow.
Sorry, pal.
All right, hold on. Let me interject here quick.
Please.
Jacob, you get a break. Ricardo, I would like to hear your thoughts on the recent form of Chelsea and what's gone wrong. Before we get back to Jacob, who obviously is the most entertaining one here.
Oh, well, thank you.
What's gone wrong? I mean, I feel like he said it. It's just they go up early and then they concede and they don't come back. So it's weird. They've just lost. I don't want to say focus. They just all around. They just haven't been playing as well as earlier on in the season. Kind of saw that with Leicester when he was with them last season. They kind of started off really hot and they cooled off.
Their way.
Yeah,
limped their way to the friggin'.
So I'm not saying it's the exact same thing. It kind of is inching towards that, but it's definitely concerning based off of last season at least. But I really don't know how to fix. Well, I mean, I guess you just got to play better in form. Cole Palmer hasn't been as good. Really, anyone on the attack has been.
The attack they're all falling apart. Jackson hasn't scored in, I think, 2 months. And Nkunku's been terrible. I don't know how much of that is the rumors looming. I don't know what it's all about. He just has not been very good. Even when he's had his chances, he hasn't been great, which has been very frustrating. Madueke has been very poor. Sancho has been very disappointing since the first month or two that he was there. It's kind of dissipated in this recent period. And Neto's nice. I like Neto, but he doesn't score a lot of goals. They signed a bunch of wingers that don't score goals. What a brilliant concept. What a winning formula.
But it was working in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and now it's not.
So maybe they get back in form.
When? Next year?
I don't know. I'm not paid to coach.
I put more of the blame on the board. I'm not absolving Maresca of all blame. He definitely deserves some blame. But this board is inept because they are just so effing stupid with everything that they do. They just, oh God. Without Cole Palmer, imagine if they never signed Cole Palmer. Just imagine what they'd be if they'd never signed him. Imagine. They'd be with frickin' Tottenham right now. That's where they'd be. Eating off the ground the crumbs. That's what they'd be doing. Enzo Fernandez's Cinderella run's over. Got hoodwinked again. They're just not very good right now. All the players have taken, with the exception of, I don't know, Marco Correa and Caicedo, and Palmer's been fine. He just hasn't been great. He hasn't impacted the game in the same way. And yeah, like I told you, at Maresca, there are times where he waits too long to make changes. It's actually gotten a little better lately, but there were periods where he just took forever and ever and ever, and it's just like, buddy, like we have to impact the game. You can't bring a guy on with 7 minutes left and expect him to impact the game. So there's that, and just what bothers me is just their lack of resilience. That's what really scares me. It's just like when they are down, the game's over, and that is not acceptable. And I don't care who you're playing. City, this is the worst they've looked in years. And Chelsea made them look like nothing's gone wrong. Nothing. They made them look like, oh, we're fine. It's back to normal. And what happened, City? Immediately after that, they went back to being bang average. Immediately. They scored one goal. And they didn't even score the goal. It was gifted to them by Bart Verbruggen not being able to catch the friggin' ball. By the way, Brighton gave up 7 goals the week before. 7! And this team couldn't friggin' manufacture one? You couldn't fall into one goal? They can't do... They need to spend all their money on Arsenal's set pieces, coach. Because if I see another corner that is not kicked to anyone, I don't know what I'm going to do. This team does nothing off of corners. It's basically just a throw-in out of bounds. That would be more useful than watching this team handle corners. It's just...
I have 2 follow-ups.
Please.
Give me a grade for Enzo Maresca right now at the time of recording. What would you give him for the full season? Not just lately.
I know. B minus?
Okay.
C to C plus probably.
Ricardo, you think a B minus?
If this is a month ago, I'd probably give him an A. But now it's a B minus. I mean, they lost to Ipswich. They lost to Ipswich.
But that's one result in isolation.
Christian, how many wins does Ipswich have? How many? 3!
I say B.
And one of them is against Chelsea. That is unacceptable.
Okay, so B minus for Jacob, B for Ricardo.
Yeah.
I think a B is fair. I think when you look at the expectations going into the season, he's right where you need to be.
Yeah, that's fair, but it matters how you get there.
Sure. Fair enough.
We can't go another year without not being in the Champions League. They can't. Cole Palmer needs to play in the Champions League. If they lose Cole Palmer because they're not in the Champions League, they will burn Stamford Bridge to the ground. They cannot let this happen. He's too important.
All right, let me push the conversation forward. Since you talked about the Champions League, what's the expectations for the rest of the season? Both in the Premier League and now the Conference League.
Win the Conference League. I said that from the beginning of the year.
Yep.
Anything other than that is completely unacceptable. I don't care who the hell they play in the final. There's not a shot in hell that there's a team in the final that is better than them. Minimum on paper. That we know that for sure. And I expect anything less than not winning the Conference League championship is completely unacceptable in my eyes. I mean, it's an easy trophy to win. They need a trophy, win the trophy. Guarantee yourself some form of European football for next year by winning that. But they should also guarantee that by coming in fourth. It'd be nice if they could catch Forest, but if they don't, minimum top 4, find a way to get in. Absolute lowest is 5th. If they finish in 6th again, I'm going to be very upset.
And 5th might get them Champions League with the coefficient.
Given the way, fine, but I would prefer they get in the top 4 because I think it's more, these group of players need to be in the top 4. I think they need to feel that sort of significance. They got to finish strong. They need to, and they need. They got to be. If they find a way to beat Liverpool or Arsenal in those two remaining times they play them, that would be a huge accomplishment. Because I've been telling you about how I think it's very important that they need to find a way to beat a really good team.
Fair enough. Ricardo, do you think Chelsea will finish in the top 4, or do you think we'll say one of City, Newcastle, maybe an Aston Villa can catch them? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I feel like it has to be no lower than 5, but there's still time for them to obviously stay in top 4, get top 4. I think it's realistic for them to be top 4. They just it's just a rough patch, a really rough patch. I feel like teams go through that. So
it's getting a little long. That's what I'm worried about.
10 games is a long stretch, but
that's how I felt about Madrid. It felt like 2 months at least when they, I know it's different.
We don't have Kylian Mbappe.
But it's the point that a long period of time feels longer in the moment.
Yes, and eventually you kind of dig out of this.
One result might be enough for it to change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll friggin' beat Brighton on Friday, please. Don't you dare lose to Brighton 2 games in a row. And I don't care that they're at the Amex. I don't give a damn. It's not Anfield. Okay? It's the Amex. Win the friggin' game. And and again, I'm going to fall back on this, and I've been screaming about it forever. This is what happens when you have a bunch of kids in a team. This is what happens when you don't have real veteran leadership in a team. This is what you get.
Yep.
And I don't understand why these crummy idiots in the board can't figure it out. I mean, open your friggin' eyes. Why don't you ask John Terry, one of the all-time greats? Ask Frank Lampard, who you let manage the team. You think he would say, why don't you add a few veteran players? It's certainly open. We won the titles. I mean, look at Liverpool. Look at City. What do they have? Veteran leadership. And yes, it didn't start that way. I understand that. But I don't know why they can't figure this out. Don't give me some I don't need a 40-year-old. Just give me someone that's like 32 that can play. Is that so much to ask?
Most clubs in the world now.
And I don't want them to be 32 in 5 years. I want them now.
Maybe the board is watching.
Yeah.
Maybe they're hearing your outcry.
I can't. I don't want to go any even louder. So they can't hear from London.
It's okay.
It won't be. It's not going to be okay if they don't. If they finish in a crappy way, I'll tell you that. It's not going to be okay. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to go to another manager.
We'll see.
I'm tired of musical chairs. Anyway.
All right, that's that's all from us for another edition of the Chelsea Rant, an exclusive, not the end of an episode, not at the beginning of an episode, a whole episode. That's all from us. Make sure you check out our Champions League predictions. That should have gone out a few days ago. And hopefully for Jacob's sake, Chelsea can get back to winning ways against Brighton on Friday night.
They better.
But that's all from us. Check us out on all our socials. Subscribe here on YouTube. And check us out next time. See you guys.